What is happening, everybody? My name is Beth and welcome back to Every Day is Spooktober. Now, it has been a minute, I am sorry about that, but yeah, we have been watching a lot of films over this quiet period of me not posting, and as you guys can tell from the TikToks I've made and also from the community tab on my channel, we are talking about Silent Hill Revelation, which is the second installment of the Silent Hill films. A little bit of backstory before we get into the actual review of it. Part of me didn't want to do this review because I'm not a huge fan of these films. They're not like top priority. I know Silent Hill originated from a video game, and there's multiple that have been made and they're very much loved by fans. And then along came the films and people weren't so happy with the sort of new adaptation and then things they've taken from the game and then adapted into a film, which I totally understand. You know, the original is always better, as we all know, just a fact in kind of any circumstance. But yeah, like I'm not a huge fan of these films. I think they're interesting. I think the world that's created is fun. I've not really seen anything like this. And I do like the kind of concept of like in the films, like the mix of like the very like video game-esque creatures and world and environment and everything that's created. I really do like the sort of mix of the both with these films, which is kind of why I do want to talk about it. Obviously, I've seen the first Silent Hill film, which was made quite a while ago. I know that I did better than this one. You know, I quite enjoyed the first one, if I'm quite honest. It was interesting to learn about this new world and dip our toes into something quite different and something I've never seen. You know, I bought the second Silent Hill on DVD. Yeah, I decided to visit Silent Hill Revelation 2012. And let's just get straight into it. Yeah, so like I said, I think the you know, the world created is so interesting to me. You know, I love that like Silent Hill is this like mysterious place, and you know, you in this world it's completely secluded and split off from like the real world, and you know, a lot of people know that it exists and they just know to never go near it. Which I really do like that concept. I think it's quite fun and has that very eerie, creepy feeling of kind of like people know this thing exists but they would never ever go there, and it's like that really says something about obviously this Silent Hill in general. You know, with this one, I know we sort of follow Heather as she has grown up into her sort of teenage years now, and she's living with her dad. Obviously, her mum is essentially stuck in Silent Hill, but she doesn't know that. Her father has tried to sort of distract her and just take away those memories of Silent Hill when she was a child. So yeah, I do like the continuation of the story. I do like that we're kind of following the same characters as before. I mean, because I feel like if it was focused more on different characters, it just wouldn't have the same kind of, I guess it wouldn't have the same kind of rhythm and flow as like the video games do, where they're like all connected and they sort of follow along with each other. So I think it was a nice sort of connection that we made there. I found the acting to be quite cringy. It was like very underdone. Everything was very underwhelming. Like it was very relaxed considering the circumstances, which was I found quite odd. It felt like they held back on so much in this one, and I wish they would have gone full force with it. We don't really visit Silent Hill until about halfway into the film, and when we do, it's very samey to the first, and you know, we don't really explore anything new. Like we have kind of same characters come back, same creatures come back, and there's not really anything new that we see. Which I mean, maybe this, like I said, I don't have knowledge of the game, so I don't know if there's like a connection there that maybe I haven't been able to make. But like, I don't know, I think from a film standpoint, from just watching the films and knowing about them from the films, I would have loved to have seen, you know, like to explore a different part of Silent Hill, not just kind of do the same thing as the first one. You know, it felt like the defeat at the end of this, when Heather goes into Silent Hill and then realizes that, you know, she has a different identity, and then she comes face to face with like her evil self. I think all of that was very underwhelming, and I think the like final fight sequence was just pathetic. Nothing really happened. It was like a 2 minute sequence and then it was over. You know, and you could see at the end of the second one how they did try to set up for a third, as obviously the dad stays in Silent Hill to go find his wife, which, okay, is fair enough. I was kind of expecting us to kind of explore that in this one, but this one would it really lacked story in my opinion. Like there wasn't a lot that went on. You know, it felt like the film was very over before you knew it. And like I said, I didn't think we were in Silent Hill for long enough to fully understand and explore the world. Like I said, I wanted to see different parts. I wanted to see new creatures. I wanted to see something just we haven't seen in this world yet that could have been really fun, really creative, stand out. And I'm sure there's so much from that, like the video games that they could have taken from, but whatever kind of happened there, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just a bit of a shame that we got very much samey kind of environment as we got before. You know, I think the first one still has a lot more creativity to the world, the design of everything, the creatures, how they look. I think all of that stands alone and looks so great in the first one, but with this one, it didn't really offer anything different, anything special, unfortunately. And I think that's what really let the film down. And I know this film did not do well. People weren't happy with this film at all, which is a shame because, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan, but it would have been interesting to see more of it to be explored. Yeah, that's just sort of my overall thoughts of the film. You know, like I said, I'm not like a super fan. I don't know much about like the this world and how things work. Like I'm not super sucked into the story. Just what this is just coming from the opinion and eyes of someone who just knows about the films and is just looking at it from a film perspective. I understand that people looking at it from a gaming perspective are going to have very different thoughts, which is completely fair. You know, I don't mind video games and you know, I wouldn't mind checking out the actual Silent Hill games. If I do that in the future, I can let you guys know what I thought about the games as well. We can do a gaming review, who knows. Yeah, if that's something you would like to see, do let me know in the comments. But I think for an overall rating for Silent Hill Revelation, I would give it a 3.5 out of 10. Very low of a rating there, but yeah, it was lacking so much. The story wasn't written very well, and that's my biggest thing is just I want something else. I wanted to see something else, something different, and we got the same as the first one. It felt like there wasn't really even any need for this film to be made because it didn't actually do much for me, and the story as well just lacked so much context, and I think we could have done with a lot more information. And I think we should have found the mum. We really should have found the mum. I'm aware they were trying to set up for another film in you know, at the end, but it just seemed like everything was filler leading up to the end moment where the dad's like, I'm gonna go find your mum now, and it's like, and then like Heather is like, yeah, that's fine, you can go do that. Like, I don't know, it just, story was very loose-ended, many plot holes, didn't make a lot of sense, a lot was missing about it, and it wasn't the film that I was hoping for. So yeah, that is my review of Silent Hill Revelation. Let me know what you guys thought of this film. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Are you a fan of the games? Let me know. And if you are a fan of the games, do you recommend me playing them? Thank you guys again for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on my next review.